let's bring in Yatsenyuk. He's a former Prime Minister of Ukraine, and he joins us now from Kyiv. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Great to talk to you, Arti.
Now, Mr. Yatsenyuk, Reuters is now reporting that Vladimir Putin is demanding Ukraine give up all of the eastern Donbas region, renounce NATO ambitions, and remain neutral and keep Western troops out. Russia could also freeze front lines in Zaporizhia and Kherson. This is according to reporting done by Reuters. And if Ukraine refuses this, the war will go on. Now, CBC News hasn't independently verified that reporting. If all of this is accurate, is that an acceptable concession?
Well, we are talking again about different ifs. I don't buy this. The way I see and my reading of designated war criminal Putin is that he hasn't changed his mind since 2022. Let me remind you that in Belarus and then in Istanbul, Putin actually demanded a full capitulation of Ukraine, a real surrender, both demilitarization of Ukraine, no NATO membership. He urged Ukraine to cede Ukrainian territories and the rest of the stuff, and so-called denazification and another nonsense that Putin always spew. So the thing is that we are back to square one. Ukrainian and Russian position, they are completely irreconcilable. There is no common ground at all, period. And we have to realize this. And even in case, as you already said, if some kind of ifs happen, this won't change anything. Putin will demand more and more and more. So the best answer and the best way out is just to show a very strong unity and to show that we are ready to act, not just to release a hot air, but we, I mean, as the Western world, we are ready to act boldly, strongly, and with an unbelievable power.
You know, we've seen, of course, the Alaska summit involving Trump and Putin, European leaders in the Oval Office, along with Ukraine's president speaking with Donald Trump, trying to forge some sort of way forward for a peace deal. With those discussions, also discussions of a bilateral talk between Zelensky and Putin. If you feel that we're back to square one, has all of this been for nothing?
Well, at least the optics in D.C., I mean, in the White House, was very good. And this was unprecedented summit, a kind of summit of the free world that happened in the Oval Office. And the good news is that for the time being, as of now, Americans are back on track and Americans are back on board. But devil is always in the details. So President Trump, he expected to get some kind of concessions out of Putin. But Putin is always Putin. I met him a number of times. So he will cheat, he will deceive, he will play for time. He will do everything in order to drag us into a never-ending talks. And at this particular period of time, kill Ukrainians, bombard with the missiles, drones, and the rest of the stuff, and to grab as much territory as possible. So the thing is that my gut feeling is our joint position is a kind of, it's similar to some kind of hodgepodge. So there is no clarity where we stand. I mean, we as the Western world, we as the free world, what is our negotiating position? What is our red line, or what kind of red lines do we really have? And what kind of ammo we are ready to exert, what kind of power we are ready to wield over Russia in order to get real concessions out of Russia. Because otherwise Putin is looking at all what is happening right now all over the world, and he's waiting and actually expecting that nothing is going to change. And he can prolong his war of attrition and this grinding war, and that he can actually achieve his ultimate goal. And his ultimate goal is to take over an entire Ukraine and together with China to establish a new global order, or to establish a new global chaos. And that's the reason why I'm always addressing our American friends, saying that, look, it's not just about Ukraine. It is about you. It is about your national security. And we are at the forefront of this fight for the freedoms, for the independence and for the human rights and for the global order. But actually, you are the ultimate target.
Now, Mr. Yatsenyuk, when we're talking about the U.S., its positioning on this conflict and its involvement, how it may get involved, and as you say, that may be the ultimate objective is the reordering of geopolitics. We know that the U.S. president has posted on social media, perhaps not offering much more clarity, but worth looking at. And in his social media post, he says that it is very hard, if not impossible, to win a war without attacking an invader's country. It's like a great team in sports that has a fantastic defense, but is not allowed to play offense. There's no chance of winning. It is like that with Ukraine and Russia. How are you reading his comments there?
Well, fingers crossed. I wish his intimidation and his clear-cut message to designated war criminal Putin come to fruition. And the U.S. administration, the time will come when the U.S. administration will decide to deliver a long-range weapon to Ukraine in order to give an additional ammo for Ukraine to fight for its independence. So I hope that this time will come. But the thing is that we are dragging our feet too. And the more we are waiting, the less, I would say, chances for an immediate peace and fair and just peace we have on the table. So, put it in the nutshell. The best way out right now is to have a joint action plan with the strong sanctions, with the security aid package for Ukraine, with the unity between the United States and the European Union in terms of what kind of real ironclad security guarantees Ukraine is to get, and with the real set of tools and measures how to press on Russia and on China in order to get a fair and just peace. And I believe that the US administration has to get along with India. It's better to get along with Prime Minister Modi and just to ask him not to buy Russian oil and not to finance the Russian war chest, instead of just being at loggerheads. Otherwise, we are pushing India closer to China. Could you imagine that India could be aligned with China? So it is a very complicated, it is a very complex global crisis. But we still have enough power, enough guts and strength and economic and military power to fix it and to save Ukraine and to save the global order.
No doubt it is incredibly complicated. Thank you for shedding some light on this for us. That is Arsen Yatsenyuk. He is the former Prime Minister of Ukraine. Thanks for your time.